And hello everybody, here's Mr. Z, your physics teacher. I want to do a short screencast here to show you a little bit about the lab 409. I made a mistake earlier. I want to show you how I fixed that in the table. And secondly, I want to show you how to do the graphing in Excel. I don't want you to lose points there because we did that before. I just think it's a good idea to show you a short refresher. So let's hop to the table here. Go to make myself a little smaller here. So what I realized after when I reflected on the lesson, on the presentation last time, is that it's not possible that the height was in millimeters. So I fixed that here. I went back to the lab, I looked at it again, and we have centimeters here on this ruler. So when it says 20 on there, use 20 centimeters. And that makes our life easier because we have the starting gate also in terms of centimeters. So we don't need to convert to millimeters. You go straight over here, you calculate the ratio of height over the distance of the starting gate D here, and you use these functions here either in the search box in a browser or in Excel to convert it over to degrees, and those should be pretty close to your inclination, by the way. Okay, this is only needed. We actually need this number here later when we calculate the theoretical g from the measured acceleration. We call it g measured, okay, because it's based on the measured acceleration. So you need this sine of theta to do that calculation in part 3, I would say. So let's go to the graphing part. I hope that's clear. And I changed the table a little bit to make the graphing easier from the original recording. That is, I flipped the columns around. So time, I have time and time square on the left and distance on the right. So at least they're in the right order. You still need to select, time and distance one time and one time square and distance. So if I grab this table and put it over to Excel, and I created some fake data here, so I don't want to see this type of data popping up there. I know it's fake because it has all the same acceleration. It's based on an equation. I just used one of the kinematic equations here to create these numbers. And because it's fake, right, I have very good, always the same acceleration. So what you need to do here is you graph distance on the y-axis versus time on the x-axis. So if I select time and hold down the control key and then select the distance and keep that selected, so it's time here and distance there, then I can go straight to insert. We go to scatter, insert that, and we get the graph right away. Okay, so the key trick here, and you might have to practice this, after you selecting the column B, you're holding down the control key and keep holding it down while you select the label and the data of D. Okay, now we have distance versus time, and I'm getting already some reports back in. The students think they're done with that. There's big things missing here, right? One thing that is missing are the X labels and the Y labels, and I'll let you figure that out, how to do that, because we did that earlier, right? We know how to create chart elements and axis titles here. The title is also not reflecting it correctly, but we also want to add again a trend line. So we select all the data, do a right click here, add the trend line, and we select linear here. We want to see, is it linear or not, right? It's no point in doing exponential fit. It will just tell us it fits, right? And let's add the equation on the chart. We always want to do that. So this is your data, and you kind of see that this is not matching. This is not matching a linear curve, right? It's not matching it. So something is not going right here. And I'll let you fix the rest. Let's do just quickly. You can just then actually copy this graph. I want to show you that again. I make it smaller too, so we can fit everything there. I copy it, and I Control C I press and Control V. I insert it. The reason why I do that is because I can just use the whole setup here by just dragging over these blocks on the left. I can move this label here over one to the right, or maybe I have to make it bigger. I might have to make it bigger here. So I select the data points here, not the linear lines. So now I selected it. You see all the dots are kind of lighting up with 4 dots around it, and this series thing shows up there, and then you grab this and you move it over to the time square. And look at that! Isn't that beautiful, straight, super trooper? The trend line is already here, the equation is there. All you need to do is change the labels here, change the title of the chart, and it doesn't get any straighter than that. Well, it's because I have fake data. You probably see some noise around it, but you're going to get a nice slope here too. And that slope has something to do with the kinematic equations. So I want you to check for a kinematic equation that has distance on the y-axis, and we're graphing time square on the x-axis. And then you look what's in front of that time square, and that's exactly this 0.25. And I can give you one more hint. There's no coincidence that 0.25 is half of these values. I hope you can find the right kinematic equation and then interpret it that way, right? So you can find a value for your acceleration based on that slope and compare it to your average acceleration down here that you take when you average all this up here. So I hope cut and paste, it shouldn't be a problem. I had some students doing screenshots. All you need to do is select everything, do a right click, copy, and then you paste it into your Word document. It's like if I paste it here, it shows up the same way. And the same for the graphs. So you select them, do a right click, copy, and then you go do your Word, not to Excel of course, but you paste it there. So that should work, and that's the whole purpose of today's recording. Make myself bigger one more time. So I hope that was helpful. If you have other needs for short recordings, these screencasts, just let me know. It's not complicated, and I'll put it up, and it probably helps you in getting some more points in the lab. You can always K-mail me or call me, and I will try to help you out. Bye.